Okay, hello everybody. This is Scott Joseph Prince. I am your professor for APE1, that is English 1, for the spring 2020 semester. And this is a video lesson for week 1. Okay, so this will be a video that will explain the course syllabus. And then also I'm going to introduce a kind of simple writing assignment for week 1. Sorry that we could not meet face-to-face yet, but we will do very soon. We just have to wait a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm going to shrink my face so that you don't have to look at the big picture of me the whole time. And let's start with the syllabus. Okay, so this is the important information about this class. Everybody, this video is going to be 50 minutes long. Now, as you can hear, my voice is a little bit scratchy, so sorry about that, but you're just going to have to endure. And I will try to get through this as quick as possible. Okay, so this file is the syllabus file. Now, actually, before we read this, it's very, very important that everybody can use the Smart Campus. Okay, this is the main part of the university website that you need to become familiar with. So let's have a quick look at that. Right, so this is the Smart Campus. Now, obviously, this is my page. It probably looks different to your one, but I just want to show you some important features. And of course, mine is in English. So basically, the most important ones are going to be the announcements. That is where I will send you any important information. So I've already written something in here, and it explains about the week 1 being online. So this is the announcements. And you can see that there is the syllabus. Now, lecture content, that is the most important one. Lecture content. Okay, so if I just click on there, now sometimes I have to reshare my screen. I want to make sure that everybody can see it. Lecture content. This is where I'm going to share all of the class material with you. Okay, so week 1, you can see APE1 syllabus. Now, it is not here yet because I set it for 9 a.m. on March 2nd. So at 9 a.m., this file will be available for you. This is the file that I am going to introduce and read from in this video. There's also going to be a PowerPoint file called Icebreaker 3 tenses. And then there is an assignment section here. This is where you're going to do some work and submit it. Okay, and you can see that is available March 2nd. Now, don't worry about this deadline because every class is different. This is just a general Smart Campus page that I'm showing you. Okay, so please make sure you are checking the Smart Campus regularly. Okay, let's go back then and we will have a look at the syllabus. Now, I'm just basically going to read this. There are 4 pages, lots of important information. Now, if you find this video very difficult, or if you're getting bored, or if you're losing your attention because this is in English, your second language, stop the video, pause, take a 5 or 10 minute break, and then come back and start the video again. Okay, because it is very important that you understand the information. Right, so at the top, Academic and Professional English 1. We call it APE1. Spring 2022. So my name is Mr. Scott Joseph Prince, as you can see there. And there is an email, lambertsclose23@gmail.com. Now, it's not the easiest email to remember. Sorry about that. But here it is. So the first letter is an L, everybody. So it's lambertsclose23@gmail.com. If you want to message me about anything, you can send a message there. But you can also use the Smart Campus messaging function. And to be honest, the Smart Campus is probably the best option, but you can also use this Gmail. Okay, next we're going to just look at the textbook here. Very, very important that everybody gets a copy of the textbook. So it is called Unlock 3, Reading, Writing, and Critical Thinking. Okay, and here is my copy. And you can see also on your syllabus, there is a picture of the book. Make sure you get the correct one. There are two that look very similar, but one of them we study in APE2. That's the listening and speaking. APE1, reading and writing. And it is the second edition. Make sure you get the correct edition. Everybody must have a new copy of this book. Okay? There are no excuses. You must buy this book. So when we have our classes together, you must have your book every class. Okay, now I'm going to skip this next part. We don't have to worry about this section. Let's go to, well, there's a little extra point here about the textbook. There is a link if anybody needs it, although I guess you can use the university bookstore. And just, it says again, you must have your book for every class. No excuses. If you do not have your book, you cannot participate fully in the class, and therefore you will lose participation points. Okay, now some general rules, and these are very basic general rules, everybody. Be in attendance and engaged at all times every day. Obviously, that means no sleeping at the back of the room. Cell phones. Well, I think cell phones are very useful for studying purposes, but make sure that you are using them to study when we have our classes. Try to speak English in the class. You will be assessed on your effort and desire to use English. And the fourth one here, any plagiarized assignment will receive an automatic 0. Now, the meaning of this word, plagiarized, means you copied it from someone else. So make sure that all of your work is your work. You are not copying it. Make sure you come to the class with enthusiasm and a desire to learn and improve. Okay, so that's the first part here, just the general rules of the class. Again, everybody, I do apologize about my croaky voice. It's just a sore throat. Okay, it's nothing to worry about, but it is what it is, and I have to make this video today. So I hope that you can just kind of endure. Don't worry, this is not my usual speaking voice. Next part, this class is a reading and writing class. So there are some expectations. The first bullet point says, students will be asked to read aloud in the class. Don't be shy. Again, make sure you have your textbook. Okay, so when we do reading, obviously, I will ask some of you to read. Nothing too difficult, really. Next point, bring your laptop or tablet to every class. A large part of this class focuses on writing skills, and we will practice often in the class. Okay, so bring your laptop, computer, or your tablet to the classes, please. Sometimes we will do some writing, and I think these days we're pretty much using electronic forms for writing. Right, like I already said, you must become familiar with the Smart Campus. It is essential to this class that you check messages and download shared files from your professor in the Smart Campus. And the last one here, this course focuses on reading and writing, but we will also be speaking often too. You must be able to perform all of these tasks every class. Okay, so that is the reading and writing expectations. Now, the next section is going to talk about the grade. And there are different scoring parts, different scoring areas. So let's have a look at that. Grading. Right, the first part is your attendance. 10%, 10 points. But there are some rules. So if you miss a class and it is not official, unexcused, then you get a -2 point penalty. This is on the attendance. Now, it's quite strict because attendance is very important, obviously. So if you are absent and it is not for an official or an excused reason, you will get a -2 point penalty. There is also a rule about being late. And being late means more than 10 minutes for the class. If you are late 3 times, we count that as 1 absent. And then that is the same rule that I just told you, you get a -2 point. Okay, so these are the rules for your attendance. And it says here, if a student will be marked absent, a student will be marked absent if he or she fails to come to class or arrives more than 30 minutes late, if you sleep, or if you miss more than 1/3 of the class. Now, if you miss the class for an official reason, you should talk with the Hakseng Cha and you get the official excuse submitted into the online attendance system. Basically, if you miss the class, make sure you speak to the Student Affairs Office, and they will help you make it an official absence. Right, so it's 10%, 10 points for the attendance. Next is participation. So we want you to participate in the classes. We want you to be active. And here are just some kind of guidelines, but it's very basic stuff. You get your participation score if you take part in all of the classes, if you follow directions well, respond to questions, have a good attitude, complete all homework and writing assignments on time, asking questions, being prepared, working well with classmates. So all of these things are considered good participation. If you have bad participation, well, then you might lose some of these points. So there's 15 points. Basically, one class is 1 point. Okay, so that's the participation. Next, we have homework and quizzes, 10 points. Right, so during the semester, there will be some vocabulary quizzes. Now, I will tell you about these when we are face-to-face in the classroom. I think that will be easier. Okay, so don't worry about the quizzes now. Basically, there will be a vocabulary review, vocabulary from the book. Okay, but like I said, we'll talk about that later. There will also be homework assignments, which must be completed on time. Again, I will tell you about those in the class, but there is an assignment connected to this week 1 class. So make sure that you follow those instructions when you see that part of this video. It will be after the syllabus. Right, so next we have a writing project. This is a reading and writing class. So there is a writing project. It is worth 20 points. And the writing project is in 3 parts. Okay, 3 different parts. Part 1 is worth 4 points, and you will make a topic proposal and 1 paragraph summary. Don't worry about this now. I will introduce this to you in more detail later. Okay. But basically, the writing project has 3 parts, and you can see there, part 1 is 4 points, part 2 is 6 points, part 3 is 10 points. If I just quickly scroll down, you can see the schedule. You can see part 1, we will do this in week 5. So you don't need to worry about it yet. Part 2, you can see there, look, week 10. And the last part is in week 14. So let's not worry about the writing just yet. Okay, there is a midterm test that is 20 points, and it is an objective test that will review what we study in the first half of the semester. It's a written test, so there's no speaking. And then we have the final test, which is 25 points, and that will be at the end of the semester. Okay, so quick review. Your grade will be calculated by the attendance score, the participation score, homework and quizzes, the writing project, the midterm test, and the final test. Okay, so it's 100 points, obviously, to give you your grade. Right, now we're going to talk a little bit more about the grades, because at university, there is a relative grading policy. Okay, so here, like many universities, Sungsho University uses a relative grading policy. This means there is a rule about how the grades are given to students. All right, so this is the rule that we are going to start the semester with. I suppose there's a chance it might change, but I doubt it. So only 30% of the students can get the A grade. In one class, 30% can get an A grade. 40% can get the B. 30% will get a C grade or lower. Now, this is a rule, okay? It is not my choice. This is a rule for the university. Every APE1 professor must follow this policy when giving grades to students. It is very important you understand this rule. very often your final grade for this class must be changed to fit the relative grading policy. Okay, so I'm giving you an example here. I think this could be useful for you. So imagine in your class, there are 20 students. So if there is a class of 20 students, 6 could get the A grade, 8 would get a B grade, 6 would get a C or lower. Now, this means I would have to maybe change the grades a little bit to fit this system. All right, so this table gives you an explanation of that. So imagine there are 20 students. You can see their numbers, student 1, student 2, student 3. And there is their score and grade. So student 1, that person got 100 points, that's A+. Student 2, 100 points, A+. Brilliant. So they're ranking, they're both in the first place. Now remember, I can only give 6 A grades. Student 3, 90, student 4, 97, student 5, 96, student 6, 93. So these are the top 6 ranking students. Right, now then, student 7, student 8, student 9, look at them. Now they actually also scored enough points to get an A grade, 92, 91, 90. But there are already 6 A grades. So unfortunately, they cannot get the A grade. So this is what I was talking about. Unfortunately, I have to change their score. I have to deduct points so that they become B+ students. Now, obviously, this is not particularly nice, but it is a rule, so we have to do it. Okay, so students 7, 8, and 9 would be given a B+ score. That is the highest score that they can get. Right, and if we go down, student 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, they also get the B scores, along with these 3 students. Now, this has a knock-on effect. Student 15 and student 16, their scores would be B-, but there are no B grades left. So I have to make them a C grade. So again, I would have to deduct points so that they get the highest score possible, which is a C+. Okay, so please understand this grading policy. It is not something that the students like. It is not something that the professors like. But we have to follow this rule, everybody. All right, so if you have any questions about this, you can ask me later. Right, next we're going to look at the schedule. I've made this as simple as possible. So week 1, unfortunately, it is online. And here is the content class task. Right, so introduction to the course, syllabus, icebreaking writing section, which I will talk about in a minute. Now, week 2, I'm not sure yet if we will be online or offline. I will let you know as soon as possible. But week 2, we will start the textbook unit 1. Okay, and the title of unit 1 is animals. And then basically we just go through the book. So week 3, we should definitely be back in the classroom by week 3. And we'll do unit 2, the environment. Week 4 is unit 3, transport. Week 5, we take a break from the book and we do some writing work. And we prepare for the writing project part 1. And then week 6, we're back to the book. and we do unit 4, and then we prepare for the midterm test. The midterm test will be in week 7. After the test in week 8, we have a kind of review time and also a writing practice. And then we go back to the book. Week 10, we do the writing project part 2. And then it's more of the book before we get towards the final project and wrapping up the writing project in week 14 and week 15. Right, so that is the schedule, everybody. Make sure you check this regularly. Make sure you are prepared well. Right, and that is the syllabus. Okay, so I have gone through this very quickly. What I suggest that you do is review this file. Try to read it yourself. Make sure you understand as much as you can. If you have any questions, you can send me a message or wait until we are face-to-face in the classroom. Okay, so like I said earlier, I have shared that file with you in the lecture content on the Smart Campus. I'm just going to bring that up on the screen again. All right, so lecture content, week 1, and you will be able to access these files. It says they're upcoming, but they will be ready by 9 AM on March the 2nd. So the syllabus will be there. Download it, make sure you have it. Okay, so next I'm going to introduce an ice-breaking activity. Now, we would have done this in the classroom together, but we're just going to have to do it online. So I have a PPT, which I will show you and explain now. And then you're going to have to do some writing, and you will submit your writing in this assignment section in the week 1. All right, so let's open the PowerPoint file. Right, so it says Icebreaker, 3 time tenses, and 3 things about you. So the 3 time tenses, what that refers to is past, present, future. And I would like you to tell me some things about you using those different tenses. Okay, now make sure you watch this PowerPoint video, and especially make sure you watch all of the information about this assignment. Okay, so there are 3 questions. Here is the first question. It is in the past tense. So the question is, what is your best memory or memories from high school? All right, so I would like you to think about this question, and you're going to write your answer, obviously in English. Here is an example which I have prepared. All right, so you can use this example to help you, and I'll just read it now. So my best memory of high school is playing football every day. During almost every lunch break, my friends and I gathered on the playing field and played football. I don't remember how we chose the teams, but sometimes there would be 15 or more boys on each team. Someone always brought a football to school, although I don't think I ever did. it was like a natural part of school life for us. Right, I don't need to read it all. Basically, you have to pay attention to the grammar, everybody. The first question is the past tense. So you need to use past tense verbs. So look at the second sentence. During almost every lunch break, my friends and I gathered. That is a past tense verb. Gather, gathered. On the playing field and played football. Play, played. I don't remember how we chose. So choose, past tense, chose. Someone always brought a football. Bring, brought. So make sure you use past tense verbs to answer this question. All right, so that's the first question. What is your best memory or memories from high school? Next, question 2. Now we're going to use the present tense. And the question is, what have you been doing these days, which means recently? What have you been doing? Here is an example answer. Like most people in Korea, because of the coronavirus, I've been staying home quite a lot recently. I have been watching more films and TV shows than I usually would. And I've also been watching some Korean shows too. Okay, such as these ones here. I have also been watching a lot of sport, such as English Premier League football and cricket. The football team, which I support, is called West Ham, and they're doing pretty good this season. I have also been reading some books about raising a pet dog because I recently got a new pet. Right, so the grammar for this question is I have been. And then you use a verb and you add ing. So you can see I have been staying home. I have been watching TV. I have been reading some books like this. So if you want to talk about the present tense or recently, you can use the grammar I have been, I've been. And then you use a verb and you add ing. Okay, so please write your answer to answer this question. What have you been doing these days? And then the third one is going to be about the future. How do you think learning English might help you in the future? Right, so for this one, you could use words like will, might, or could for future situations. For example, now I changed it from English to Korean. This is just because it relates to me. I would study Korean, I wouldn't study English, but you guys are going to write about studying English. Right, so this is just an example sentence. Learning Korean will help me to understand people better while I live here, and I will be able to communicate and have conversations with native Koreans. Another example, learning Korean might also help me to be a better teacher, as I might be able to listen to my students better. Okay, so the first example uses the word will. The next sentence uses the word might. And here's another example using could. Finally, learning Korean could help me complete tasks such as visiting the bank or the post office more easily and make my life more comfortable. Okay. Right, so this is the assignment for week 1, everybody. Answer the 3 questions related to the past, present, and future. So the question 1, what is your best memory or memories from high school? Remember, you use past tense verbs. But actually, the first sentence uses the present form is. Okay, so my best memory of high school is, and then after that, you're going to use past tense. Question 2, what have you been doing these days? And you can use I have been, and then you use your verb and ing. And the third question, how do you think learning English might help you in the future? You can use will, might, or could for future situations. Okay, so write your answers to the questions in the same way, the same format as the example on the next slide. I'll show you that in a moment. When you have finished, you must submit it to the assignment section on Smart Campus in week 1. That is in the lecture content. Okay, I'll show you that again in a moment. When is the deadline? You have 1 week after your week 1 class. So don't delay, complete assignments immediately. Okay, so if your week 1 class is Wednesday, March 2nd, the deadline would be 1 week after the week 1 class. So basically before your week 2 class. Now here's an important point, everybody. Submit all written work using Microsoft Word file format. Please do not use HWP. And this assignment, you can also use PowerPoint. Okay, so I don't really want you to submit HWP files. If you really have to, then okay, you have to. But I would like you to try to use Microsoft Word, or you can use PowerPoint. Okay, so your final assignment should look like this. 3 paragraphs, 3 parts. The first part answers question 1, the past tense. The second part, the middle part, answers the question 2 about the present tense. And the last part answers the question about the future tense. Okay, so that is the end of that PowerPoint. Okay, back to the Smart Campus again. Right, so I'll keep reminding you, Smart Campus lecture content, week 1, you will have the syllabus here. You will have the Icebreaker 3 tenses PowerPoint here. And then the third part is where you submit your written assignment. That is your answers to the questions. Now, your assignment, it only needs to be 1 page. Okay, if you want to use the PowerPoint, okay, if you want to use this one, sorry, let me get the right share. You don't need to use all of these files, okay? Don't send me these files, these slides, sorry. Obviously, I already have it. The only one you have to send me is this last one. 1 page. Okay, so if you want to use PowerPoint and you're going to write on PowerPoint, okay, but only send 1 slide, this one. Or you can write your answers into a Word file, or you can use Notepad. Please do not use HWP file. It's kind of not very convenient to use. All right, so you can use a PowerPoint slide and you can just write your answer on there, or you can use Microsoft Word, or you could use Notepad. All right, everybody, I'm going to finish this video in a moment. let's just kind of review a little bit. Make sure that you understand the syllabus and understand the grading information. Make sure that you buy a new textbook. Everybody must have this textbook. All right, that is a rule. You must have a textbook. And make sure that you can use the Smart Campus web page. It's very important this semester. I will be sharing lots of information, lots of files here, and you will also submit your work here also. Okay, and you will have 1 week to submit the week 1 writing assignment. That is the Icebreaker, 3 tenses. If you have any questions, you can send me a message on the Smart Campus, or you can use the Gmail email, which I talked about, which is on the syllabus. Right, guys, so I think I will wrap up this video. I look forward to having face-to-face classes with you. Let's have a good semester together. I will be a very fair and helpful professor, but I also expect you to be hardworking students. Okay, so hopefully I will see you soon. I will give you updated information about our class on the Smart Campus. Okay, let's end this video. Goodbye, everybody.